well, I actually have a human body in the car right now, and so I'm going to give you the phone number of my associate.
Stop it.
That's what happened. She's like, I'm driving back from Iowa City and I have a human body in the car. I'll give you the number of my associate, and you can call and he can come help you.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I'm envisioning all of this. Go ahead.
I hung up, called the guy, and I said, now, he was a mini Australian Shepherd, but he was not mini. He was really heavy. And I said,
Child size.
I said, I'm really strong, but I couldn't lift this dog. And so I go, you might want to send 2 people. He's like, oh, no, it's fine. I'll just send our guy. He can lift a dog out of the house. I'm like, I don't know. It's pretty heavy. I don't know. It's pretty dead weight. You know what I mean? And he goes, well, just in case, I'll send along the gurney. And I'm not laughing that this dog died, but I'm laughing because we quite literally hired an undertaker to go into a home with a gurney, load up a 75-pound bowling ball of a dead Australian Shepherd, and wheel it out covered in blankets, looking like your dead grandma.
Oh my dog. Dog. Oh my dog.
Oh, my dog, hey.
Oh my dog, hello.
Well, we're just off vacation. Anyway, Holly is.
Woosah.
Yeah,
I
she's
am
a new
so
woman.
woosah. I'm a new woman. I will say the last episode that we were on, I said specifically, I hope that it freezes beyond freezing while I'm here.
She said, I hope it's the coldest days on Earth while I'm gone.
And it was.
I think we had like a -11 while she
We
was
say
gone.
things and then they happen. And so I left on Saturday.
As the snow came.
Yes. I got out of Des Moines fine, although I did not get into my connecting flight at all. We diverted to Norfolk, and then we got moved over to Charlotte, a airport that I will never remember. Because I sat at the airport bar and got to know all about all of the people
I love an
that were
airport.
sitting there.
I love an airport bar.
And then I got into Miami at 1 o'clock in the morning, and my luggage didn't follow me. So that was fun. No, I don't love that. But anyway, that I was actually pretty glad that all of that crap happened at the very beginning of my trip, because I knew then the rest of the trip was going to be fine.
I
right?
think the beginning of your trip being like that is what gave you the trip high.
Oh my gosh.
You're like, let me hit rock bottom.
So did you get your luggage?
Yeah.
She did.
So,
I couldn't believe she did. I thought she was going to have to go do a quick shop at Target.
which at that point I was like, dare me, honestly, because I can spend $1,000 in Target in 30 seconds flat.
No problem.
No, so I got into Miami at 1, got to my hotel at 2. I did not have one taxi ride where anybody spoke any English. So that was a whole new
Trying to navigate.
experience of Google Translate. Anyway, no, I had to go. So I got there, my luggage wasn't there, and then I had to go to the baggage claim desk, and you make these claims, and they're like, oh, we'll deliver it to you. And I'm like, well, I'm getting on a ship at noon, so you're going to have to deliver it to me, like, as soon as it gets here. And they're like, yeah, we'll put in your itinerary, we'll put in the special request. But I'm like, I'm not trusting any of you people at this point. Like, I'm done. So the next morning, I took an Uber back to the airport, picked up my luggage off Carousel, which thank God it was there, and then to the ship. But
Whew. It was a fun challenge before your reward.
well, so the funny thing about it was I used my credit card points to book this, like, mid hotel.
Yeah, nice hotel.
Nice hotel. Not
Yeah.
like 5-star or anything crazy stupid like that. But
yeah.
like, it was a mid hotel. It had a nice little cool bar, restaurant. It was like a hangout spot. It was kind of like downtown Miami, high rise, blah, 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 whatever. I was like, cool. No, never saw any of that. The bar was closed by the time I got there.
Darn it.
Yeah, but I got a cool pen out of the deal.
Facts.
And you've been back here in frigid Iowa. It was like
having literally the worst week of my life.
the high on Tuesday was -4, and I think I was somewhere in the Virgin Islands
Of 84.
sitting on a beach at 85 plus degrees. Damn it. Swimming in the ocean. Felt really bad for y'all.
I went to Mexico and all I got was a broken tailbone. This doesn't seem fair. Yeah, well, we missed you, and we had a lot that happened, mostly because you left me alone, and then, like, life happened, and I got stressed out. And when I got
Yeah.
stressed out, that meant that we were going to take in 14 dogs while Holly was gone.
I had no service, which I was totally cool with.
We need, you have to have a
I was
disconnect
like,
from this type of work. You really do.
when I signed up for the cruise, they're like, "Do you want to add the Wi-Fi package?" And it was like $150 or something, and I was like, you know what? Actually, I don't think I do. I'm just gonna
Be free.
Yeah. I'm going to go and disconnect. And it's so wild. So I've been off my phone. I mean, I called you guys when I had service in St. John.
Yeah.
But other than that, I had no access. And I made all these cool friends. And none of us had the Wi-Fi package. So it was so wild to be completely disconnected. And like the night before, you would make plans. Like, I'll meet you at such and such at 9:00 in the morning for breakfast or something like that, whatever it is.
Just, yeah.
And then every
olden
day,
days.
yeah, I know. It was so great though. And I'm like, we're on our way back to Miami. And I'm like, I don't even want to kind of like, can I just leave my phone on airplane mode for a while? Like,
my answer is no.
I know. And I was even telling all my new friends, I was like, what are you guys going to do? And they're like, oh, we set the timer limits on your apps. Like, you can say TikTok, you get whatever.
An hour.
And the one guy was like, yeah, I set my TikTok limit at 15 minutes. I'm like, excuse me? Like, I set that. I tried it for a 2-hour limit and got the notification multiple times. Like, you've hit your limit. Shit. No, it really was an eye-opener, and I think it was a beautiful thing. But no, with the rescue, definitely glad to be back. Glad to be reconnected. I spent all of my time in Miami Airport and LaGuardia catching up on all the things that have happened.
Yeah.
In OMD since I was gone. And then I didn't even try to call you. Like, when I got in last night, I was like, I could call her for an update, but that's going to take an hour at least. So, yeah, it was
Here
really
we
nice
are.
to get caught
We're going to
up.
get the download now.
So I'm going to learn about everything that's happened with all of you at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm going to start my download of all of this. But I'm going to do it on kind of a shitty note because I don't want to have to deal with it later.
Yeah.
And if I get emotional, Holly will talk about something and give me a second. But we lost someone really close to myself and all of my dog crazy friends in Des Moines really suddenly right after Holly left. And of course, like, your best friend zips away and then you're like, oh, I need to like...
I need you.
But
Where
I was
are
like,
you?
no, I'm fine. I'll just fill this time with taking in far more dogs than I have time for, and compartmentalizing.
That's the
as
classic
I should.
Kara trauma response.
Which is what I did, and things were a little crazy. But anyway, I wanted to mention that because Grant was a huge supporter of Oh My Dog Rescue, and we loved him very much. And he left me behind a little treat.
Yeah.
So he had some French bulldogs, and he had a little pug that we loved together for quite a while, and she passed away this year.
Grant's your friend from Paws and Pints.
Yeah, so Grant was the general manager of Paws and Pints, and we met and instantly decided that, we owned a part of each other's souls. Like, he was just a really special person. And anyhow, I'm not going to chatter the whole way about this, but he had a few little French bulldogs, and then he had one, which he called Murder Pity, or Mrs. Fruit, or her name was and is Kiwi. And he used to work at the ARL, and so had been a dog rescuer for many years, but when he worked there, this dog came in, a little, what they call a pocket pitty. She's probably 35 pounds maximum. She's small. She's like the size of a French bulldog, but she's like a pit bull shrunken down, plus a bulldog. Terrible breeding. her back legs are terrible. She's on, daily pain meds and all the thing, Dosaquin, Cosaquin, all that kind of stuff. And she's doing really great. I've been keeping up on her meds. But outside of that, she lived a really hard life before the ARL got her. And she's got some kind of weird behavioral quirks that I'm working through. And so, if she ends up with me for the rest of my life, then Grant left me that gift. But if I can figure out her quirks and what she needs and what she doesn't need, and if someone else can give her a better life, I'll do that too, and he'd be happy either way. But anyway, that was my biggest intake. But
Had you guys talked about that, or how do you put it?
yeah, we had.
Okay.
So he earlier in the year actually had a house fire and lost his home and everything he owned.
We fundraised for him too.
We fundraised for him. We helped hold a benefit for him at Paws and Pints to help him rebuild their lives. It's been a terrible year for them. And, he and his husband had just gotten their home and started over and kind of started to build things when he passed away. We had talked about it because when his house burnt down, they got the Frenchies and the little pug out. But they had to call animal control because of Kiwi, and
Right.
she was freaking out and no one could get close to her or whatever. So my friend V and I met the animal control vehicle in the parking lot of the gas station right by my house because he happened to be right by there. And he goes, well, yeah, it was kind of hard to get her in here. Everybody was afraid of her and blah, blah, blah. They open up the thing and I had an audible laugh. Because there's this little nugget of a 30-pound, what do you mean? Who is afraid of this? Why? And he's like, if you want to get her out of there, you can. I left the leash on her if you need it, And I open up, tink, clink, clink, open up the back of the thing, the little cage opens, and Kiwi literally just looks at me, and I stick my thumbs underneath her front legs like a toddler, picking them up to sit up on the bar stool. And Kiwi was like, yeah, we're cool. And she has listened to every word I've said since I picked her up then. And then she went and stayed with my friend V for a while. Eventually went back with Grant and his husband, and then, was doing really well in their new home, and then here we are. So,
Yeah.
But Kiwi didn't care for Grant's partner for whatever reason. He was just like, you're not my person. I don't listen to you and whatever. And so, when Grant went to the hospital and we realized it was really serious, the first text message that we got was, I'm going to need help from you guys or Oh My Dog or somebody.
Yeah.
Because
Somebody from the.
Because I can't handle all of our dogs plus Grant's dog that doesn't like me, you know.
Right.
That's how she ended up with us, and he signed her over to us, which is what Grant would have wanted, and we talked about that because during the fire, we knew that we had to separate her, and V and I took responsibility of her at that time, and it was the same thing. Crisis happened. What do you want? Come help me.
How can I help?
Yeah.
100%.
So, anyway, she's been a joy at our house, and honestly looks exactly like her father, which is weird to say about a dog and a person, but
They
they
do
looked
look a lot
exactly alike, and
Yeah.
they were just the best. So, anyway, so because of that trauma that happened literally one day after Holly left me and went off the grid,
Oh, man.
I went a little off the rails. What did I do? Well, intakes, you were here for a couple of the first two, right? Lickety Split was that
Oh,
doodle.
one of the doodles that potentially may have came from, in a roundabout way, from Paris puppies.
So we thought, and then Natasha got a call from somebody who is from wherever and said, I don't know why she's saying that this dog came from Paris puppies.
Really?
But I rehomed that dog a few days ago to her, or weeks or whatever ago to this person. And obviously she hasn't been caring for him because he was terribly mad at she, I don't know what it was. She had a matted coat and whatever. Obviously, it had been a little bit of time, if this is true. But the lady called and said, yeah, I've got her adoption or her purchase records and all of that. She's not from there. And
What?
Yes. So she said.
So Natasha must have been messaging you, because I
Yes.
caught up on all the. I came back. I got to Miami and my phone glitched out.
Yeah, it was
I had
I'm
to, I had to turn it off and turn it back on because all of the
we
notifications
took a few
coming
things
through.
offline, which I've uploaded most of to, but that was a phone call from Natasha. She goes, "You will not believe what happened."
No,
I
I
just
appreciate
got this phone
being
call.
left out of the loop, honestly. Like,
Yeah, we took you out of a few. I got to bring you in a few though because we got a new foster. But,
love that.
yeah, I
No,
did one good thing.
I really do.
I know I do too. But anyway, yeah, Natasha calls. She's like, "Well, I'm not sure what to do," and I said, "It doesn't matter."
It is always something with that girl. Natasha, every fucking time. Every fluffing time. It's something with you.
But yeah, so who knows where that dog came from? I do believe it was probably used to buy drugs one way or another.
I don't doubt that.
No.
Knowing the background.
Mm-hmm.
Whoopsie daisies. Me. Okay, I was here for the intake of that one.
Good, because I really didn't.
That was
Pay
a
attention.
Yorkie. Dad had to go into the nursing home or something, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah. Anytime we get a Yorkie in, we rarely ever post Yorkies in the Mafia because we have a Yorkie specific foster, which is Mike and Linda. And I think they've only said no one time, and that was only because they were both like,
had the flu.
dying from the flu in the middle of the, this last flu took, basically everybody took 3 weeks, and they were in the thick of it, so totally understand, but.
Well, and we've talked about them before, but what I
She was in and out.
She was. What I love about Mike and Linda, though, is one of them will be like, "I'll send a picture of the Yorkie."
Depending on which one, though, like it alternates. Like the last one, it was all Linda, and the one before that was all Mike.
Yeah.
Like
So
they swap off.
What I like is one of them will be like, "Yes, we'll take it," and the other one's like, "Sweet," and the other one's like, "I don't know, I gotta ask Mike," and Linda will be like, "Yes, we'll take it," and then Mike says, "Sweet." Like it's so like it's a whole cat and mouse game.
We're all in the same room, just on the same messenger chat.
Yes,
it's hilarious.
It is so funny, but yeah. You gotta keep things spicy when you've been married for a long time. You gotta play cat and mouse.
And the nice thing about them is I think they have like 4 dogs of their own, maybe.
Yeah.
So even though they want to adopt, most of these Yorkies that come in, they're like, they get it. Like, they understand if we adopt this one, we can't continue to foster. And they're dedicated to that. And I think that's a beautiful thing.
It's
like,
wonderful. Yeah.
It's so rewarding as a foster. And I think a lot of people don't consider this when they're thinking about fostering, is you get to experience all these dogs and you don't have to keep them or commit to them. You get to love them, you get to experience them, and then you get to put them in their forever home, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And I know that Mike and Linda hate us for putting them through that whole emotional experience sometimes.
I have been likened to as the devil.
The devil.
Like, you're the devil. What in the world? The dog devil.
Makes you a stronger person. All right. Who's Apache?
Apache is that little chihuahua that I picked up that was an owner release because Apache...
Tan, slick.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, big ears.
Yep, and kind of a brown Merle coat. Interesting.
Who's she with?
April.
Oh, yes.
Doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah, loves her
Which
house.
I was surprised because she has all big dogs. And I was like...
This was her first... She goes, I'm going to have to ask for
Chihuahua
tips.
advice.
And I'm like, leave him alone.
Ignore him. That's my best piece of advice for Chihuahuas.
So she got Apache in. The next day he got neutered, and she took him to work with her all day before his neuter appointment. Took him to his neuter appointment. Oh, she had him all day before the adoption event. But anyway, she's been just bopping this dog around. He has not had a full day at home or whatever. Wednesday comes along, and it's bingo with the old folks.
Oh, sure.
Which I'll dive into how that went later. But this dog literally had been bopped around all over the place. But even in that time, he was attached to April. Chihuahuas are magical. They're like, are you the person that is loving me right now? If
are you
so,
the one? Are you the one? Is that a song?
I don't know. I felt it when you sang it, but I can't tell you who should be singing it.
Anyway, he's still adoptable. She is still adoptable.
He
did not.
Yeah, his name was Carlton before.
Did not get adopted.
No.
Yet. Lucy Lou is our black lab shepherd mix, 2.5, 3 years old, out of the AIM shelter. Kara busted her out of there while I was in flight. Thank you profusely for making all that happen, because I had told Lisa, I was like, well, we'll deal with this when I get back from vacation. And then you swoop in and you're like, I have a foster. I'm like, fantastic. Let's do that.
Get her out
Also,
there.
you're going to have to actually go pick this dog up and deliver it and do all the paperwork and onboard this new foster. Like, bye.
I was so happy that we finally got to do that. It's so hard to place these dogs, and we've had a couple new fosters lately. It's always, we love our fosters that have been with us forever, but it's always fun when we get somebody new that's excited about doing this. And the person that spoke up for Lucy Lou is absolutely darling. She had Lucy Lou out at Paws and Pines with us last night, which next week we're going to talk to the owner of Paws and Pines. So be sure to tune in and hear about what it's like to own a business that's catering to dogs. But beyond that, she's the sweetest thing. And Lucy Lou was really a problem because she was
She was
dangerous
flagged.
dog flag.
She
We
was-
talked about her on our last.
But she's this. I don't. This is one of those things. It's like she was surrendered to the Ames Animal Shelter.
Yeah.
Flagged as a domestic. Dangerous domestic. Flagged as a dangerous domestic, and it's like, nobody's going to be able to adopt this dog in the Ames area
because they had to carry like $1 million of umbrella policy,
and
it's
it's all,
that's ridiculous.
Which also, by the way, huge shout out, side quest, huge shout out to Ames Animal Shelter. They just got approval for the purchase
of a new property. That's going to be awesome.
property. So if you haven't seen it, follow them on Facebook, Ames Animal Shelter. And
they're very unique because they're a city shelter and they are no kill.
And they're no kill.
Yeah.
So this was February 18th. The Ames City Council voted to purchase the property at 2715 Dayton Avenue, formerly Eagles Loft Daycare, the new site for the Ames Animal Shelter operation. So this is like 5.5 acres of land, and they're going to be able to put a huge building on the property with basement space, storage facilities. The city and them are working together to design the space. There's going to be green space, like a large dog area, small dog area. They're going to be able to do so much more than what they're doing now.
It's been a huge deficit in that county.
Yeah.
There's just not a lot of options for dogs at large, dump dogs, anybody that needs to surrender a dog. There's just no options, which is why we get so many calls. And
then they go to the ARL, and they're overwhelmed.
Yeah.
It just trickles down. So this is a huge win for them. They're going to be doing fundraisers soon for the shelter project. There's going to be sponsorship opportunities, naming opportunities. If you're an individual, if you want to do a memorial, if you're a business, you want your name on the wall, that would be cool. I think we should probably do that.
Yeah.
Oh My Dog Rescue should support this project.
Yeah.
I
love that.
If you want to donate to that specifically, just Venmo us, PayPal us. There's a donate page on our website. You can send it there and put it in a special note that it's supposed to go towards the Ames Animal Shelter project, and we will redirect those funds there. But under OMD, right?
Yeah, if we sponsor. Otherwise, you can follow along with them and
Definitely.
and watch what they're doing and support it.
They've got Facebook, also amesanimalshelter.org. They also have an Instagram, and you can follow them there. They're doing it right.
Yeah.
And they have been great partners to us.
It's really hard to be a smaller city shelter like that. Like it's
and
difficult.
they're so gracious. They've donated kennels. They donated the Bailey chair for Winona. They've donated a ton of food.
Yeah.
Because they,
and all of those
they
kennels.
get all of these
Didn't you get
donations
the kennels from there?
Yeah, all the crates and kennels.
Yeah.
And so it felt really good to help them out with Lucy, because that was one of our goals for this year specifically, was to help shelters in those situations. And we have helped like Cedar Rapids Animal Shelter.
Yep.
Of course, we pull from Wichita and Kansas Humane Society, which, that's useless stuff, but
yeah,
same. I mean, a dog rescued is a dog rescued.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah, that was a fun one to get to send Holly off and let her know that Lucy Lou was free.
I was happy.
She kept bothering about that. She'd be like, "Hey, did you hear anything about?" And I'm like, "Oh, I completely forgot that even existed. Thanks for bringing it back around." So
I have all these ideas, and then Kara just makes them happen.
Or I forget
It's
them.
fantastic.
Or I forget them.
Love that. I'm going to work on that this year.
Forgetting. Just letting people
No,
know you have them.
doing the things that I want to do by myself.
You're going to be magic.
You're just so efficient. You're just like, bam, bam, get it done. Barry White was one of the doodles that came from Paris Puppy.
Not
Paris Puppy
Paradise.
Paradise, whatever the fuck it was. Anyway, the woman that adopted him was a very
Good.
nice person.
Yeah.
And she was actually from the area where Paris Puppies came from.
Mm-hmm.
She had an older dog, and from what I gathered from the emails and the text messages and all the messages coming through, like I think she really did give it an honest try.
I do too. I think it was just bad.
And it had nothing to do with Barry.
No. He was just
he
young,
was-
dumb, and broke running around like, I want to play.
Yeah, it was more so that he was stressing her
old dog.
older dog out, which,
I can respect.
I respect that. And I think, again, based on all the information it wasn't like...
She was wonderful. It was not a crappy return. She thought about it. I challenged her even.
Right.
And she still was like,
Stood her ground,
this
yeah.
is, I want to make the life for the dog I already had the best I can. And this is not doing that. Which
and
I agree. It's fine.
Yeah, I get it. So, and it's not like Barry's a problem child. I mean,
No.
Again, it had nothing to do with Barry.
Yeah.
And I think he's out the door.
He's
in
leaving
the next day or two.
Yeah. So Barry's
By the
already
time
got a
you
new
listen
home.
to this, he'll be adopted.
Yeah.
Sushi?
So, again, as Holly was
Yeah.
leaving, I was like, oh, I made a new friend on Facebook and found this person who helps to pull dogs off of euthanasia lists and things like that. And I saw this little stubby, dummy, little mini pit bully thing. Actually, I think she's just an English bulldog, maybe mixed with a Frenchie, but
Is this the Aaron guy?
they cropped her ears. And yeah, the Aaron guy, he popped up right, and so he helped me get Sushi, who is absolutely darling, but she was a breeder dog, clearly had just like had a litter of puppies and got dropped off. So she, and I don't know if you know about the breeding that happens we're trying to make these little mini pocket pitties, but it isn't pretty.
No.
And so there's
Not
all
good for
kinds
anybody.
of issues, but anyway, Sushi had been, was going to be euthanized on Monday. And so Sunday, I was like, we gotta make some movement here. So I was like, it's fine. I'll put her in my basement. If I have to, I'll find a spot for her to go. Rhonda, who is one of our volunteers, fosters when she can because she's got a few dogs of her own that are getting elderly. But she volunteered to do the transport of this dog to my house, and she picked up the dog, and halfway there she sends me a message and says, like, I think, like, I really like this dog. I need to talk to my husband, but could we foster it?
Love it when that happens.
Yeah. So her husband was like, yeah, that's fine. And actually this dog loves her husband. Like,
They both have been on break for a while because they have an elderly dog.
Yeah.
That's
he's
slowly declining.
Yes, and he struggles.
And they're being respectful of that.
Yeah.
And that's cool. I get it.
But they
But
broke
I think
the
they've
rule for Sushi.
I think they've been missing the foster life for a
I
hot
think so.
minute.
Yeah, but Sushi's doing awesome. She just sent me a bunch of updates a few minutes ago. She's starting to do some introductions in their household because they have like kind of a split level house. So when they have a foster, they keep their like half down level for their foster and the upper level is for their dogs.
Cool.
Which is great, and it works really, really good. That's why I'm never afraid to send a dog with them because they know how to crate and rotate.
Mm-hmm.
So when that dog crates, the others come around, and we swap. It's the whole thing. But anyway, she's doing all right. She's a little spicy because who wouldn't be when you're low to the ground like that and your ears got cut off and whatnot.
Katie was a golden retriever that had aggression issues, but not really.
Yes, so family called into our vet, thank dog, and said, well, she came in
That's
for
wild
the
to me, by the
appointment.
way.
So she had purchased 2 purebred golden retrievers, which could not have been cheap, siblings. And
You're talking thousands of dollars.
yeah. And she had gone to training and whatever, and one of them was just more dominant than the other, and started doing all the things that we'll just go ahead and link back to the
Littermate
syndrome episode
episode.
because that's exactly what is happening here. The one female was overtaking the other and being aggressive. so they thought that she was so aggressive that they needed to
A
euthanize
golden
her
retriever.
at 8 months old.
Okay.
I said, I was in the middle of the meeting and I happened to pick up my phone because I thought it was something else, and it was the vet. And they started telling me this story, and I was like, what? And they're like, I know. It's like the people were still there. And I'm like, oh my God, don't kill her. And they're like, we're not. Like, that's why we're on the phone with you.
Oh my God.
So they had the owners fill out the surrender form, and they did. And I cannot believe getting to that point. I understand being frustrated, but like they didn't even reach out to any rescues to ask for help. They just tried to handle it on their own, couldn't, had made a mistake, and then they're like, well, we're just going to end this life.
Honestly, if it was any other breed of dog, I would be concerned for the other dog.
Right. But he's fine.
It's a golden retriever.
Yeah, I mean, and he was $5,000.
They'll thrive anywhere.
Yeah, it's true. And this one
did.
Yep. Already adopted.
And a whole house full of labs. I mean, when I say full of labs, I mean
yeah.
like
so we threw this
8 other,
dog,
9
and I
other
said,
labs.
obviously, went to Natasha because we're talking about lab crazy Natasha, and so we throw this dog there. I said, test her. Try to get her to get mean. I said, put a bone down, put your most like dominant dog out there with him, and just see if she like does anything at all. She
Nothing.
couldn't break her. She couldn't do anything except for
Nothing.
that. She did get so excited when she first saw her jumping and playing that she chipped Natasha's tooth.
No.
Yeah, she did.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like this on her ear.
Shut up.
She goes, yeah, she's pretty crazy. She's jumping up and down all the time. She's like, she broke my tooth. And I'm like, what?
We do not have a dental program.
No dental plan for our volunteers.
Holy shit.
Yeah, chipped her tooth.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it wasn't bad, but like I'm sure she can feel it.
It's a chipped tooth. Arr.
Not that chipped. She doesn't have to. She doesn't have to start arguing.
Oh my dog. Okay.
Yeah, I forgot
I'm
about
gonna request a picture immediately.
that. It's just a little off. It's just a little chipped on the bottom.
Excuse
It's
me.
small. It's a
Excuse
small
me
chip.
for just 1 minute. Proceed.
Okay. Sushi Katie. Oh my gosh. I'm going to save the
Do
these
that.
for the end. Our little Lucky Golden. So this is one it's a technical intake because the dog was released to us for ownership purposes. One of our volunteer groomers who has done a wonderful job for us and made many a makeover and helped us in lots of ways, found herself in a situation when her little golden retriever puppy went into her kennel to have a dinner, and her little paw slipped underneath the wire and got caught. And she essentially freaked out, barrel rolled, and like destroyed her femur.
I don't know if any of you recall the story of Holly in her nakedness pulling little Tater's head out from a wire crate.
Yeah. Some dogs aren't
But if you
built for
sure
this.
if you're not, refer back to episode blank.
Whatever.
So this happens.
It's a freak
They
thing.
get stuck
It's so quick.
and then they freak out.
Mm-hmm.
And I just was lucky to have been there when
So the
it happened
owner-
with Tater, that she didn't hang herself.
The owner literally got her out within seconds. She had just walked away, and it had already gone terribly wrong. And, you know, life happens, and you don't always have the funds for thousands of dollars of emergency vet care. And so, you know, I had seen a post, and Natasha had also sent it to me, about that she was going to have to give this dog up to another rescue so that the rescue would cover the surgery and things. And I just had this moment of like, she has no hesitation jumped in and started helping us with things that are really important to our rescue and our mission. And I know she's going to continue to do that. And it's not to say that I only want to help people that are helping me, but my goodness, if somebody who's helping my mission.
That's the way the world works.
Yeah, if
that's
somebody
the way the world
who's
works.
helping my mission has a moment that they really need me, I'm going to message them. So,
If that's not the way that the world works, that is the way that it should work. But it definitely is the way that works in nonprofit situations.
yeah,
It's one, helping hand to another.
yeah,
That's-
know, and there was nothing
Because
so,
we don't have the money to make this world turn. You got to do it in I help you, you help me, you need a dog, you need a transport, you need a groom. We're bartering here.
Yeah, this is a puppy barter. situation. But anyway, the family is wonderful. They've got little kids, and the kids had already been prepped. I just imagine this in my head, like a
Right.
Hallmark movie. They'd already been prepped that
Stop.
they were going to have to give away the puppy, and
No.
everyone had cried and whatever. And then I said, delete your post. You do not have to give away your puppy. Like, we'll make this work. It's
How
okay."
many cocktails did you have at that point?
A lot.
See, this is why it didn't turn into an emergency vet call. It's because I wasn't there with the Captain and Cokes. It turned into like a half thing. We're figuring this out. You realize the last 2 times we had Captain and Cokes and vodka cocktails, it's turned into emergency vet bills.
What's gonna
of like
happen tonight?
$5,000. No, right. Ooh, I'm turning my phone on D&D right now.
Captain and Cokes aren't good for anybody.
Not tonight. Not tonight. I think that's beautiful. I saw that come up. I think I was in the Caribbean at that point. Bahamas at that point. And I was like, oh, Kara, this is so you. Like, I wouldn't have expected anything less than all
Well,
of
and
this.
what I liked about it was that I didn't hesitate of how my gut told me to react to what you would have said. Cause
Right.
we're
the same person.
I'm like, oh, I feel like I should do this.
Okay.
Holly would agree. It's fine.
No, it's,
Yeah.
that is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Between us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have been fundraising for Little Lucky, and I think we're really close to actually covering those costs. Maybe $800-900 away from it now, and we'll probably raise that by the time it's all said and done.
I was gonna say that's what I was thinking of. It was and it was shared like 100 times, like 97 times or something crazy like that. This is the thing, like people want to do this stuff. They need an outlet.
Yes.
And that's what OMD is. Like
Yeah.
they need a way to make that stuff happen, and that's why we have the support that we do.
Yeah, a single person
We're
is going
making
to have a
things
really
happen.
hard time doing this. But
We're
as a
changing
whole,
the world through this conduit.
Yeah.
I love it.
It was very fun to watch happen. And so I'll have to share those with you. I haven't sent them to you, but she sent me pictures, of the kids with the puppy after they, and it was just, it's like, oh my God. All right, we'll do this like one time. But also people, just know I'm not funding your vet bills, but this was special.
Well, after Hagrid, we got on some sort of freaking list or something. Like, now we're on like WWF. We're on freaking
They're like, is your dog dying?
Pheasants
And you've
Forever.
only got $2.
We're on all
.com.
of it. Yeah. You want to buy a table at the next banquet? I'm getting all kinds of mail. Paid one vet bill.
We are a charity for a charity at this point.
Anyway, Lennox.
Lennox, I'm going to be real honest. Between the golden,
I have no idea what happened here. Welcome back.
between the golden lucky, Lennox, and limousine, and Judge, all of that happened in kind of a blur during my grieving process from my friend.
Oh.
And I,
Oh, I love that. Only 4?
yeah, I only
during
went,
that whole
I
thing?
went, only
Well
went on
done.
a 4 binge.
Well done. I would have expected more.
But limousine,
No, Lennox was the
Lennox was
water dog or
yes,
whatever.
so Portuguese water dog.
She said that to me like I should have known what it was. And I'm like, okay. Google.
Oh my gosh,
It's a poodle / the shepherd off of that cartoon with the coyote.
it's a purebred dog. It's not a mix. But
What
yes,
is that?
It looks like
What is that dog? In the what is it? Runner?
nope.
Coyote. You know what I'm talking about.
That's a coyote.
The road runner.
That's a coyote.
I know the dog that.
Oh, the sheepdog.
sheepdog.
The English sheepdog.
It's a cross between an English sheepdog and a poodle is what this Portuguese
And
water
they
dog is.
Shave its butt. Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, we got this call about a Portuguese water dog. I got it from Natasha. I was half listening because I was in like a despair bubble.
Yeah, do whatever you want. I don't give a shit.
No. I said, if it's a Portuguese water dog, say yes immediately because Stacy will take it and I don't even have to ask her permission.
Because of the coat.
Because it was going to be hyperallergenic.
Not everybody knows that.
Okay. Sorry.
I didn't know that.
A Portuguese water dog has a waterproof and hypoallergenic coat.
The name would lend to that. You're right.
Well, just saying. Anyway, I was like, I don't have time to even think about this right now, but Stacy will take it if it's a Portuguese water dog, no problem.
Sure.
She calls me back later and she goes, Well, it is a Portuguese water dog, but it's what?
It's definitely a Natasha thing.
Yeah, she goes,
1000%.
she goes, it is a Portuguese water dog, but it has a non-standard coat, which is a recessive gene that doesn't happen very often, and so it sheds. And I'm like, well, what the hell?
1,000,000% a Natasha thing.
So I'm like, Natasha, this is your problem now because I gave you one option and you told, like, here we go. So anyway, that all went down. And somehow at the same time got wrapped into, Natasha sends me a message that said, somebody has a dog to donate to you.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And I was like, fish, what now? From these same people or somehow connection, I don't know. It was somehow related. They ended up with these people who were basically backyard breeding very actually nice basset hounds. So they had purchased basset hounds from like a really good breeder, but then they were breeding them out of their home, which is why rescue is better.
Those two breeds are almost relatively close in the...
I don't know if it was at the same place or not. My lines are blurred, I tell you, during these 4. But I know for some reason Lennox and Limousine, who is the male basset hound that we rescued,
We have a very diverse menu of dogs at OMD.
they were transported together. So that's why they're in my head together.
Got it.
But immediately Natasha says, I have a dog to donate to you. And then, or someone has a dog to donate to you. And then she sends me a picture of a red and white basset hound, which is exactly like what I need it. Like I've been chittering about a red and white basset hound forever. And I'm like, I don't care where it's coming from, what it's happened. I don't care if it's got 6 legs. That thing's coming to my house. I got to experience having this dog. I just wanted, which is the joy of fostering. I'm not keeping it. I want to experience it and just know. And immediately it's a no from my household on the basset
And
hound.
why is that?
This old southern hootenanny, he will not shut up. He just walks around my house, whoo, and I like try to go to the bathroom. He flops over on his back in the hallway, flops his head on the ground, and whoo at me because I'm not.
This is a true Fox and the Hound.
It will not stop wooing. We were leaving this. We were leaving this morning. Cam, who works in doggy daycare, I was like, "What do we do about this? Are the neighbors gonna call us? Are they going to call the cops on us? Like, this dog is so loud."
Maybe the cop that will respond would be interested in adopting.
A tiny chihuahua who was left behind by a homeless
No, I'm
man.
taking that one. That's fine.
Oh.
Ironically, I just got a T-shirt that says "I have friends in low places," but it has a picture of a
Weenie.
wiener dog, not a basset hound. But that would have been better.
They're
Basset
really
hound
low.
would have been better.
Basset hounds, and this is like kind of crude to say, but something that a lot of people like mention about my dog and other basset hounds, they all have large genitalia.
Oh, yeah.
So they're extra low to the ground, if you know what I mean. Like
balls
just
hang low,
barely clearing the turf, you know.
Not fans of the snow.
No, it's a quick whoo! It goes from a woo to woo.
So I had a bloodhound.
Yes.
Maggie.
Oh.
And I'm still finding her slobber on the walls.
Yeah.
Is he slobbery?
He's slobbery.
Yeah.
Not as bad as like a bloodhound would be because their jowls aren't quite that big. It's like their whole
it's
head
closer
is
to the
droopy.
ground too. So
yeah, it's not. I have gotten slobbered.
But they're
upon.
bigger than you think.
Yes. So Willamere.
They're like 70 pounds. 50 to 70 pounds.
Yes.
This is huge.
The Paws and Points mascot, she's 65-pound thick lady. And this dude is severely underweight. It's really unfortunate. I can see every rib of his. And his little middle back is like smaller than my pug's. Like how skinny it is back there. But he should probably be 75 pounds. Who's texting? Oh, she sent you a picture of the chipped tooth.
I asked Natasha for a picture of the chipped tooth, and she sent me a video. I said, "We're recording. I need a picture." So she sent this wild-eyed picture. Wow.
Let me see it. She should.
That one.
Oh, yeah. Sure enough.
Hilarious.
Just file that down. It'll be fine.
I would really like to see this dog in a semi. We should do like a photo photo op. Do we know anybody? I know some
Like a
people with
naked lady
semi,
calendar,
actually.
but it's
I can
basset
text
hounds
somebody
and
right now.
semis.
And have a semi in Mattered at 9 a.m. No problem. 1,000%.
Well, we gotta
Who's
hurry.
fostering him?
Me.
Oh my God!
Because-
I'm gonna pick him up tomorrow. Can I have him for the day?
If you can get him to his vet appointment tomorrow at 5:15 at University West,
Does he have any apps?
too, but they're in
Oh.
apartments and townhomes, so no.
All right.
He's loud. This
Oh
is
my
why I
God.
have decided I do not want to get this basset hound. Number one, because I asked Holly to cut me off from adopting dogs, and number two, because this dog is so loud. I'm like, my neighbors don't give a hoot what I'm doing. Obviously, I'm rescuing dogs. There's a different dog in my yard every day. No one gives a crap in my neighborhood. But I do think they would care if this continued howling happens 24/7 out of my house. Like, we got to get this gone. Somebody in a truck or a farmhouse, please apply for this very sweet good boy. But he's
Okay.
howly.
So I have a lunch in Johnston tomorrow. I could pick him up, take him for the semi photo shoot, get him back to University West by 5. Oh, this
It's
is perfect.
5:15.
Fine.
Well, if you tell me what time, if I will make a window in my work schedule.
Can you
and I can
imagine,
meet you?
though?
He's awesome. He's so floppy.
You know what I'm referencing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Smokey and the Bandit.
Smokey and the Bandit.
100%. Hilarious. Love this. All right, who else? Let's wrap this up.
oh my
Stretch
gosh.
and Madeline. Who the hell was that?
That is our other shit show Barbie, who loves to bring in dogs from her clients. She's a groomer, and her clients seem to, like, die or go into assisted living every other month. And she has a little terrier mix and a elderly wiener dog who are coming in to rescue. Stretch has foster parents who don't even know he's coming. I told them that I had a surprise for them.
Oh,
and they said,
yes. This is the one. I need to order another shirt. She can have my shirt.
Yeah.
You should wrap that dog in my shirt and give it to her.
Yeah. So just an old decrepit wiener
Because it
dog.
says I have friends in low places. We're her friends.
Yeah.
In low places.
That's right. We gave her
She's
this
gonna
gift.
lose her freaking mind.
I know.
Love it.
I think that's the one that's coming to her anyway. One of the wieners is anyway. Yeah, and then Madeline is Stretch's sibling, who's like a little terrier mix. Adoptions. I think we talked about a lot of these big ones being Fiona, who is one of our Oklahoma pit bull hoarder puppies, got adopted, which was really exciting, and she got adopted by an old adopter of mine when we were at Fluffy Butts, Dirty Marge. Her dad got Fiona, the puppy. Dirty Marge, of course, is long past because she was elderly when I had her, so she's passed away. But he has another little black and white pit bull thing, and so he got one more with Fiona, and the cutest. I screamed. When I saw his application come through, I sent him an email. I was like, I don't know if you remember me, but you adopted Dirty Marge, and that was like my favorite thing ever. It was so cute. He's like a 6'5".
I remember him.
Yeah. Like really.
I really do.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yes. Yeah. Let's see what else went out. Chunk Norris, Espresso, another 2 of the Paris puppies, and then Hagrid, which was our one that we took in. That was that $8,000 emergency dog. Nutter Butter went home, who was that little cockapoo that kept causing us trouble, but ran out the door. Thank goodness. And lastly, and most excitedly for me, Rosita got adopted by, like, the best possible scenario. One of our foster moms who is...
To a non-3-star idiot. Jesus.
Yes, exactly.
I cannot.
She's a 3-star idiot. She was... so our foster mom has her sister, single gal, no other pets, gonna give Rosita
and
the
a bit
life...
bougie.
And a little fancy. Rosita already has a pink collar, a pink harness that matches the pink curtains in the pink apartment. It's so
weird.
Cute. I love it. That's what she wanted. She did not want trailer trash. She wanted the penthouse, and she got it. She is such a lucky girl.
So that wraps up all of our intakes and outtakes.
Yes.
What's the count? Intakes 16, adoptions 14. You did very good.
I thought so.
This is a much better ratio than what I had anticipated, to be honest with you.
She's like, how did we get 68 more dogs?
Yeah. We do have a bit of sad news.
We do. So
Womp, womp, womp.
God damn it. Our big high 2 episodes ago probably was that our
It was 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, Kaboom was adopted, who is our senior German Shepherd, and just landed in the best home with the best dad who was giving the best updates, and then we got the worst update.
Yeah.
Kaboom. So I got a call from Tracy. And it was a number I didn't know, but it like said, that area, and I'm like, oh, it must be somebody from over by Holly. I better answer it. So I pick it up, and it's Tracy, and she's like, hey, and I'm like, oh, what's going on? What happened? My mind didn't even go there, but Kaboom started having seizures in the night.
Actually, it was that morning.
Was it all in the morning?
Yeah.
And it was happening over and over and over again and wasn't stopping. So he went to, was it an emergency vet or to make it to Boone?
He went to Boone, Helping Hands.
And, while he was there, it didn't get any better, and they decided to let Kaboom go. We don't know what it was for sure.
Yeah, so Kaboom had his own room at his new forever home, and so there wasn't, I talked to the adopter because you had called me, and you're like, yeah, I don't think I'm the right person to call him, and I'm like, I got it. So I called him, and he said he had told me it happened in the morning. He started having seizures, and he continued to have seizures all the way to Boone from Madrid. And they tried to give him anti-seizure medication orally, and they weren't able to get it in him and keep it down. And they did everything they could, but ultimately they just couldn't get the seizures under control. He just kept continuously having them over and over and over again. So they had to make that hard call to euthanize him. And he had nothing but great things to say about Oh My Dog Rescue, about our fosters and our volunteers. And I'm like, I'm calling you to give you like condolences. Like, we are so sorry. Like, he had never had a seizure with us before.
And he was old, and so I did everything.
I mean, old in German Shepherd. He's 9. I mean,
well, for German
Dallas
Shepherd,
is
not old though,
12,
not that old. But like, we did full blood work just to make sure, because he was
overweight
in the senior category, and he was overweight.
Yeah,
and everything came back fine.
Normal.
Like, there was nothing.
And he had been in your house. He had been in another foster's house. He had been adopted once. Like, and he had, in all of that stress,
never one seizure.
All of that, no seizures. So, I asked him, I was like, is there any, not trying to place any blame or anything. Like,
I asked the same question.
Any way that he could have gotten into anything that could have been harmful? Like Tide Pods or mouse
rat bait,
poison or something like that. He's like, no, he was in his own room. Like, he had his whole room to himself, and he was not exposed to anything. So, and his other dogs, he has 2 other dogs, and they're totally fine. So, sometimes,
I mean,
shit happens.
I know it was just a horrible thing, and I don't know why, but I was so invested in him getting it home, and I was so happy he got it home. And then I got this call, and it just broke me. I don't think I've like visibly cried about a rescue dog just because it's all, we gotta help the next one type of situation. But I was like, I need a minute. I'm gonna cry about this. And that's okay, and then I'll move on. It was fine, and old dogs die. It's a whole thing, but it was just like this moment of like, he finally got what we wanted for him, and then it was gone.
You were invested in him like I was with Cracker Jack.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, it's different. It's a different experience when you actually watch after a dog, and then you see them in their forever home, and it's beautiful. And even the guy, I mean, we offered to cover the vet bill, cover the cremation, all of that, and he said no, I very much appreciate everything you're doing. I told him when he's ready and looking for another dog, we'd be more than happy to help him find him whatever he is looking for. I mean, obviously,
if he adopted Kaboom, he'll be happy with
but he is
pretty easy one.
definitely on our approved fosters list. I would trust him with pretty much any dog that we have.
So that was tough.
Very unfortunate event.
And it happens. Unfortunately, and fortunately, but like unfortunately, we've seen death already in our rescue. Fortunately, it's not been a whole lot. We have not had to euthanize a
racking
dog
up.
for behavior as of yet. And we've had to euthanize a few for quality of life, and it's been pretty light.
We talked about Lucky. Did we talk about the Aussie? No.
I skipped all of it. So
We have so much like death news.
yeah,
Jesus.
this is a horrible death news episode. A friend and
If
two
we
dogs.
could slow down on that, that'd
That'd
be great.
Would really be
And
special.
you're talking about the old folks home too. Jesus Christ.
Well, they were
I really did miss the best week. It was
the
cold as
best
shit,
worst week ever.
and things seem to die around here when I'm not around.
It's
so.
true. So I had received a couple emails from a few people, and then eventually the daughter of a man who passed away that had 4 mini Australian Shepherds. I ended up finding 2 foster homes for them, and because of some of the comments on her post when she was trying to find help for them, I was like, I think I better just take on 2, and I'm not going to try and stretch and get everybody, and I'm glad I did, because what appears to have happened was that dad who had passed away was breeding mini Australian Shepherds at one point in time. I don't think it has been any time recent, but I think he was, because 2 of them were double Merle, deaf and blind dogs.
Love that.
Yeah. And I'm going to dive into that just really lightly here. But anyhow, this dog was not only lacking in sight and hearing, he was the most obese dog I've ever seen in my entire life. One of the 2 that we took.
What is a double Merle?
So a double Merle is,
For
Merle,
our listeners.
yeah, Merle is a recessive gene that creates like light pigmentation, speckling, blue eyes, light colored eyes typically.
One blue eye, one.
Yeah, it
don't know.
breaks a pattern. So you might have like an Australian Shepherd who is gray and white and tan. Well, this is going to make that dog gray and black and white and speckly and tan. And then it moves. The way that the genes work is you have to breed a dog that is a standard coloring plus a Merle coloring, and then you may get a few Merle and you may get a few standard looking dogs.
Why would anybody want a double Merle?
I don't know. I think they're ugly. No, they have this like the blue eye and like the swirly color. It's just different. I think.
I think people are drawn to the one blue eye, one brown eye thing.
Like the uniqueness.
Yeah,
of it.
yeah.
But anyway, they do this. So the proper way is again to breed like a regular like standard color to a Merle color, and then you'll get a few Merle and you get a few regular. The Merle you can probably sell for double what the other ones are.
Okay.
So what people are started to do was they're like, well, if I breed a Merle dog with a Merle dog, I'm going to get Merle dogs. So I'm going to get this like speckly coat. Well, what started to happen is we're getting blindness, we're getting deafness, and
didn't that happen with that boxer?
Mm-hmm. The boxer is like essentially a double Merle or a double white breeding. So there are white boxers, but if you breed a white boxer to a white boxer or a white boxer to like a boxer with that Merle tendency,
Yeah.
you're going to have deafness.
That's where you get. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So
no good.
it is no good. But anyhow, one of these dogs was like severely overweight and went to, this is insane. I first of all, I had to get him up into my car, and he was so huge, like I could barely lift him, and like I couldn't. Like the guy had to help me.
How much should a mini Aussie weigh?
35 pounds max.
How much did this one weigh?
Probably 75.
Okay.
It was the biggest. I could not get my arms around it, and it was like a tiny dog.
A load.
A loaf, a roll. Yeah, he was huge. So when I was getting him there, like I kind of fumbled, and he like fell on his side, and he was so fat that we had to like tip him back up because he was like on his side and he like couldn't stand. Like it was outrageous.
That's so sad.
It was terrible. So I'm like, oh my God, not only did we take on a deaf blind dog, but it's freaking 40 pounds overweight.
Do you think it, because of the Do you think he was overweight because of the breeding?
No.
Because he was overfed? Was there like a thyroid issue?
I think it was a living situation.
Okay.
This
Because
is
they were all overweight.
they
not
were all
just the
yeah,
one
They were all fat. I think it was just like
overfeeding.
I don't know. I mean, who knows?
Well, it had to have been.
Yeah, I guess. And lack of exercise. It could be that the owner or the father was not very couldn't get around very well in time, and so the dogs literally did nothing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, the foster, she messaged me and she's like, well, I should read it word for word because I was so confused when I read it. She was like, well, I took the dogs out and Ollie went out and we came back in and he laid down in the kitchen and I went and took a nap and I woke back up and he's passed away. And I said,
oh my God.
what? Like he died? Like just thinking like that can't be what she's trying to say. She must be saying like he's like really exhausted or something, you know? She's like,
Like
yes.
passed out. Not
Yeah.
Passed away.
Right.
Oh no.
Yeah. So this dog, I mean, I couldn't lift him. She has had a couple of surgeries recently. She certainly couldn't lift him. So I'm like panicking and I called Natasha and I was like, what's Zaddy Nick doing right now? She's like, I mean, he's off work in like an hour. I don't know. What do you need? And I was like, I need someone to lift a dead body. And she's like,
my
what?
God. I'm glad this isn't on my chat history. It's just on yours.
Yes. Well, now it's forever. But I told her, I was like, well, I'll call you. I'm like, when can you be free? And she's like, well, it'll be a couple hours at least and blah, blah, blah. And she goes, well, why don't you ask the like cremation places if they can pick up? And I go, good idea. So I called one that I've used before, which is a local, actually human funeral home who has a crematory thing. So when I called, the lady answered and she goes, well, I actually have a human body in the car right now, and so I'm going to give you the phone number of my associate.
Stop it.
That's what happened. She's like, I'm driving back from Iowa City, and I have a human body in the car. I'm going to give you the number of my associate, and you can call, and he can come help you.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
I'm envisioning all of this. Go ahead.
I hung up, called the guy, and I said, now, he was a mini Australian Shepherd, but he was not mini. He was really heavy. And I said,
Child size.
I said, I'm really strong, but I couldn't lift this dog. And so I go, you might want to send 2 people. He's like, oh no, it's fine. I'll just send our guy. He can lift a dog out of the house. You know, I'm like, I don't know. It's pretty heavy. I don't know. It's pretty dead weight. You know what I mean? And he goes, well, just in case, I'll send along the gurney. And I'm not laughing that this dog died, but I'm laughing because we quite literally hired an undertaker to go into a home with a gurney, load up a 75-pound bowling ball of a dead Australian Shepherd, and wheel it out covered in blankets, looking like your dead grandma. Like, it looked like a human being covered up.
What is that app for like neighborhoods?
Nextdoor.
Nextdoor. That's it. I don't have that where I'm at. Can you just imagine a group chat on that Nextdoor?
Did you see
community,
the body
like,
being wheeled out of Nikki's house?
What's going on at 1111?
We did that when we saw somebody moving out, but yet they didn't move the whole house out.
Oh my God. I mean,
It's hard in
when you show me
suburbia.
the picture, it looked like a body, and I'm like,
And they were put in the back of a minivan, you know? I don't know. I don't know. The whole thing was so sad, and I was so sad that
And
it was
then-
happening. And then I got that picture of the dog on the gurney, and then
you were depositing another check or something, and you were looking at the bank account.
oh my God, yes. So I went to check the bank account, and I'm like, I always just check to make sure my checks that I'm uploading from like Mobile Deposit are showing up. And I got on there, and it said, so-and-so, like a word, like a name, last name, family fun, 515-698, you know, and it gives a phone number and like the description. It was like $400. I was like, my God, what did
We've been hacked.
we've been hacked. Like, I haven't been anywhere fun this week. And I certainly have not used the rescue credit card for any fun. So I don't understand what family fun happened, but it wasn't with me. And so I'm getting ready to like call the back of the number on the card. And I'm like, wait a minute, there's a phone number attached there. I'm going to Google that. So I Google it, and then I start typing the last name, family, fun, and then it fills itself out with family funeral home. And I'm like,
Oh.
that was the body removal and disposal fee.
Oh my god.
But it was like $394 for a dog that we had for one day.
And that didn't even include the euthanasia.
Well, that was all of it. They did give us a discount. He goes, do you
That's
think
nice.
He goes, do you think in the future you'll need services like this again? And I said, yes, probably.
Oh my. Do they? Okay.
So he
So
knocked
it's
it up. We got half off the pickup.
Stop it.
Yes, we did.
With the gurney?
With Gertie.
Wow. That's a deal.
I think so. Just tell him I'm a dog when I die.
Do they? But they're a funeral home, so they don't euthanize. Like,
No, they cremate, though.
right.
No one's getting killed at a funeral home. You just end up there
Right,
after you're
right.
dead.
It's that lady. Have you ever had a Krispy Kreme donut?
Was it crispy?
Was it crispy?
Wouldn't that be
No?
convenient though?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
like kill
right.
me here.
Just take care of it.
Kill me here. Cremate me here.
Yeah.
Celebrate me down the hall.
Oh man. Well,
It was sad.
that sucks.
But honestly,
I mean,
thank
we have to find the fun in funeral.
Jeez. Honestly, we do. And there's always a new one. Every time you think, like, I've had
Something
the
that's-
main, like, nothing weirder can happen.
This has never happened to me before.
This has
It's
never
something
happened
we
to
say
me
every
before.
week.
It happens. And then
What do we
here
do
we
here?
are.
It's a new experience every day. Okay. Also, while I was on vacation, I graciously handed off the bat phone.
I didn't answer most of the time so that they could hear my message that said, if it's not an emergency, this line is not monitored, so do not leave a message, send me an email. But I did answer a couple times.
What did you find?
One being when I was headed down to like a dinner with friends and stuff. I'm like, oh, screw it. I've got 20 minutes to get downtown. I'll pick
Sure.
up this call. It's this woman who wants to apply for a dog we have, but she first wanted to speak to me because she wanted to let me know that one time a few years ago she had a dog that she couldn't put on heartworm preventative because it had a medical issue, and so that has cleared her for not being able to adopt dogs from other rescues before because she didn't put her dog on heartworm preventative, and she wanted to make sure that we wouldn't discard her application because of that. And it was a 35-minute phone call. I sat in the parking lot.
What rescue is preventing an adoption for not having heartworm protection?
I should have asked, and I probably could call her back and she'd tell me because she was all riled up about it. But it was the longest phone conversation I've ever had in my life. It was like riding on a merry-go-round because it just kept
Welcome to my
happening
world.
over and over again.
It's a good time. It's like Alice in Wonderland. Let's go down the rabbit hole every
was.
time you answer the phone.
Yeah. So then she talked to Natasha for an hour after that about the dog she wanted to adopt, and then she was with Natasha for 2 hours for the adoption, chatting with her about that. So she likes to talk. But still, that's a stupid rule. I told her, I said, part of the reason that we started this rescue is because we wanted to do things in a way that did not hinder people from adopting.
Right.
And that is ridiculous.
I can't think of... I don't even know if a shelter would require you to have your...
It's got to be a private
on
rescue
heartworm.
somehow that has this rule. I don't know. I do know that there are a lot of rescues that have really strict rules. They're like, if you don't have a fence or if you don't have XYZ, like you are absolutely discounted, can't do it.
Wow.
But I don't know. I don't know who it was. I didn't ask the name of the rescue, but yeah, I just hate seeing those barriers pop up for people who are just trying to do the right thing and adopt their next best friend, you know?
I mean, why wouldn't you take it case-by-case basis like we do? Like, some dogs do require a fence.
Mm-hmm. Some don't.
Some don't.
Yeah.
And that's fine, too.
I don't understand the hard rule. It seems counterintuitive to me, but
Yeah. I got a bat phone call today. I got a call last night. I'm like, I'm still on vacation.
I'm off till Monday.
But the phone did ring today. I got a call, and this woman, her son and her son's ex-girlfriend have a dog together. The dog got out, got hurt, had a vet bill. She has to pay it, blah, blah, blah. There was a whole story. Anyway, she told them that they needed to surrender the dog, and I was like, well, what kind of dog is it? Like, let me see what kind of volunteers I have available. She's like, it's a German Shepherd Husky. I'm like, of course it is.
Every freaking time.
And the injury that it has recently sustained is on his tail somehow. I didn't even ask. And so it's going to be a German Shepherd Husky with no tail.
It's going to look like Wile E. Coyote.
Love that. Anyway, I said, well, you're not technically the owner. Your son is, so he has to fill out the paperwork. But here's the link. Send me a picture. I want to see it.
So if we get a dog named
Without the tail. With
named
and without.
Nubs.
I would
you'll
like
know.
before and after pictures.
Yeah. So, oh my gosh. It never gets old. You think, that's it. I won't be entertained by the next call. And then here they come.
Another one comes.
Yeah. We had just kind of a cute, to wrap up our list of everything that happened while Holly was gone, a cute little email that came in the inbox. And it was this lady who had adopted one of the Yorkie mix puppies from Guthrie or Grundy. Whatever.
Yeah.
And she said, we love this dog. Everybody thinks that he's the cutest dog ever. He's the best. But I have one question. Do you know about where he came from? Because he really hates other dogs and blah, blah, blah.
One of the puppies?
No.
Like Ginger's puppies or one of the dogs that we took from there?
One of the adult dogs.
Oh, okay.
So,
I'm like, it shouldn't have anything. Like, because it was never
right.
exposed to anything.
No. It didn't like other dogs, and it was like mean because then she goes, what was the background? Where'd this dog come from? And blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. So I'm like, you know what? She did write those handwritten notes about each dog.
What did it say? Anything?
Yes, it's perfect. I got a new computer, so I have to get to my email. But essentially, the note itself said his name was Casey or something before she renamed it. Casey is very territorial, does not get along with so-and-so, starts fights with so-and-so, like blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, here's the handwritten note from the breeder that we got your dog from, and also it came from a breeder, so it lived with a bunch of dogs that was probably fighting for attention
litter
and
mates.
food and litter mates
Right.
and all the things. So she goes, okay, I wondered if it was, but I said, if his spicy tendencies get to be too much, you could always look into calming medicine with your vet.
Oh, sure.
And she writes back, what does spicy mean? And I said, that's just the word
dog
we
talk.
use to say a dog or his attitude. And she goes, oh, I like that. It is spicy.
That's cute.
It was adorable.
Obviously, has never owned a Chihuahua.
No, certainly not. But I thought that was kind of cool to get to send. I was like, yeah, actually, here's a handwritten note about that dog. Like, that was a weird intake that we happened to have that. But
She was very thorough. What was the one note that you cracked up about?
I don't remember now.
That was good. You and Emily.
Oh, yeah. She said that one of the dogs sometimes says mom or mama.
Right. The dog that spoke.
Yeah, and we lost it. It was.
Well, that's actually, I'm kind of surprised that would have been adopted months ago.
Yeah, and actually she wrote back and she said, he's a keeper, I love him. I just wondered where he came from and why he acted this way. It's like, well, he was fighting for some things.
How many other rescues would respond to that?
None.
Just us.
With a PDF scanned note.
That's right.
So.
That's so cool. Next week we are going to talk to Megan Casey and about Paws and Pines. She's the owner with her husband and a couple other couples.
Yep.
That own Paws and Pines just on the line between Des Moines and West Des Moines. They're south of Valley Junction. If you've seen it, heard of it, been there, done that, listen in next week. We ask her all the questions about Paws and Pines, what memberships are, all the things that are there, all the things that they offer, how they got started, blah, blah, blah. So
you will not be bored.
Tune in for all of that. We also have a special offer for volunteers. And Kara and I are also looking into potential opportunities for adopters.
Yes.
At Paws and Pines. So tune in next week for that. What else we got? Did I miss anything else? Is there anything else that you need to tell me while I was gone?
No.
Just how much you missed me?
I missed you a lot.
Yeah, I didn't miss you at all.
Yeah, you were in beautiful weather with the gays. You were having a grand old time.
Oh, man. The homo happy hour gossip was fantastic.
Doesn't disappoint.
My new friend Matthew gave me all the gossip, and that's what he called it. So, anyway,
I love it.
We will figure it out.
We sure will.
Oh my dog.
What I mean when I see, what I see, what I feel, when I dream, when I be, I'm a freak, what up? Oh, what up? Everybody look at me when I'm free, when I feel, what I see, when I do it, I'm a freak, what up? Oh, what up? Say what we got, it's hot to spot, give up the drop, see what we got, do what? We got to go, the body flow, too hot to show, the front row, we won't stop.